Get Up Time podcast. This is now officially season 2, episode 3. See what I did there? Because we had some pause. Anyways, that's what I think the format is going to be going forward. We're going to be doing seasons, so you get a bunch of episodes at a time, and then a little break while I work on this here consistency thing. So I'm really excited about this episode because it is an interview with Rachel Holmes, and I just think she is super awesome, and I feel like you're really just going to get a sense for that in this interview, and for her confidence as a woman. I think it really comes through, and she does call herself the confidence coach, and rightfully so. I also just wanted to talk to you guys real quick before we jump into the interview, because I didn't know what to call this interview, and somebody was like, how about Get Up From Death? And I was like, you know what, that sounds kind of fire. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, that's it. That's so like relevant to the times right now. As a lot of people, can I quote the president? It's probably fake news, but anyways, people are dying that have never died before, No, but I don't want to take death too lightly. In all seriousness, like, a lot of people are losing loved ones right now during this time, and that can be very devastating. But I want you guys to know there is still life on the other end of death. There's still hope, and I hope that if you're dealing with that this gives you some light. And if not, if that's not your story right now, I pray that you still get something from this episode. There's so much that we talk about, just the importance of boundaries and being intentional and staying in your own lane, I feel like. So without further ado, here's my interview with Rachel Holmes. Oops, just kidding. Before I start the episode, I also wanted to throw in that, or before I start the interview, I want to throw in that you guys can be expecting these episodes to come out on Tuesdays. All I do is listen to podcasts and YouTube and all that kind of jazz. And I noticed there's certain days that material comes out. Everybody wants to put their podcast out on a Monday because we got to start the week strong, and so on. And on Wednesday because that's the middle of the week, and Friday. And I was like, nobody's putting podcasts out on Tuesday. I need something to listen to on Tuesday. So bam, you can expect Get Up 10 coming your way. Fresh new episode on a Tuesday. All right,
I'm super excited. I am recording live with Rachel Holmes today. So I'm just going to read her bio really quick for you guys so you know who she is. So Rachel Holmes is a mother, entrepreneur, confidence coach, author, motivational speaker, and servant. She is the founder of I Wear My. Did I say that right? Is it I Wear My?
It's I Wear Me.
I Wear Me. Founder and owner of I Wear Me. She is a young, influential trailblazer who has reshaped the landscape of women's confidence with her inspiring and uplifting brand that has stretched across countless borders of the contiguous, I don't know if I said that word right, United States of America and internationally. This leading lady is a working mother of 4, a student, certified life coach, prominent small business owner, entrepreneur, mentor, notable public speaker, humanitarian, a pillar in the community, and a confidence extraordinaire. That is a great bio. So, welcome.
My boyfriend wrote it.
Yay. Shout out to him.
Shout out to him.
So, welcome to Get Up 10. I'm super excited to be interviewing you right now. I can't even talk right now.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for thinking of me. I think it's so dope what it is that you're doing. So to be a guest on your podcast, I'm forever thankful for, honored to be a part of. So thank you.
You're very welcome. You're welcome anytime as well. And I've been listening to your podcast too, The Good, the Bad, and the Confident, and I love it. It's like quick little nuggets that you can just take and go. And also, I have my "Today is the best day of my life" shirt. Actually, I think it's still in New York, but I definitely need to, after I have my baby.
I was going to say, can you fit it over
No. After I have this baby, I'm going to have to find that shirt. I love that shirt and definitely want to get another one.
Yay.
Yeah, no. It's so funny. Somebody was like, "Oh, do you have maternity clothes?" And I was like, no, I just wear my husband's clothes."
Yeah, my last pregnancies, I didn't wear maternity clothes. I just wore bigger things because I didn't gain
Yeah.
that much weight. So it kind of worked out in my favor.
I don't know. I asked my husband, did I gain weight? He said it's all belly, so I'll just believe him. Okay, so
I
we're
I
gonna.
haven't seen you since, but I'm pretty sure you're just gaining belly.
I haven't taken that many pictures. I don't know. And then with like this whole corona situation, I just look dusty anyways. Like my eyebrows are back to their childhood state, which is just a mess. And like, yeah, yeah. But I'm hoping to do some maternity pictures soon.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
definitely something that I wish I would have done, but I had kids so long ago, so it wasn't the popular thing to do. So make sure you capture those moments.
Yeah. I don't know. My mom just always said to like take a picture of your body so you can see like how it changed
Yeah.
like for your pregnancy and all
Yeah,
that.
it's definitely beautiful. And it also just, like now my 10-year-old, he's like, "Mom, do you have any pictures of me when you were pregnant?" So you'd be surprised when those questions come up in terms of pictures and how you looked and things like that. So definitely capture the moment.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. Okay, so we're gonna get into some questions. So when I originally started my podcast, Get Up 10, I actually named it after Cardi B, which is funny because I really don't even follow her like that. But
Hmm.
there are just two particular aspects about her that I admired. So Get Up 10 is named after the song Get Up 10, which says knock me down 9 times, but I get up 10. And I really love that because I think that's how life goes. Like life will knock you down, but you have to keep getting up. So,
Absolutely.
with that being said, how has life knocked you down?
Man, which time? Life has knocked me down many ways, many, many, many ways. But one knockdown that probably I didn't think that I would recover from, but I did, was losing my twin sister. That was a loss that, I lost my father before. I've lost a lot, but losing her and being a twin, it's a different type of loss. And to really understand the depth of it, only a twin who's lost a twin would understand. But it's a piece of you that dies, that you continue to search for, but I won't even say you find it. You just kind of, it's hard to explain, but that was something that knocked the hell out of me, knocked me down, all the way down.
Yeah, I can't even imagine because I'm not a twin, but I definitely have siblings that I love dearly, and I can't even begin to imagine. How old were
Yeah.
you when that was all happening?
Well, when she first got diagnosed with cancer, we were 20, I want to say we were 28. I believe we were 28 and she died. Yeah, she was 28 years old. Um, they told her, she went to the doctor because she had a toothache and it just wouldn't go away. So 2 weeks after that, she went back to the doctor because this aching pain from her tooth wouldn't go away. And they ended up doing a CAT scan to find out that she had a tumor on her brain. Well, once they, found out that she had a tumor on her brain, they found out that she needed surgery. And then that's when they found out she had stage 4 brain cancer. And during that time, they told her she had 18 months to live. And so I believe we were 28 at the time. And when she passed, she was 29 years old. So I was at 29 years old preparing the funeral of my twin sister.
Wow, that's really tough. I can't even imagine. And then like the way that it all started was just a toothache, something you think is like so little. Like you would never even imagine what would come after that. So I'm sorry you had to
Yeah.
go through that. So yeah, life definitely threw you a good one. But you're still here. And from your amazing bio, we know that you got back up. So how was that process and journey of getting back up, and what are the things, some of the things that you did to help you get back up?
To get back up, I had to cry. To get back up, I had to feel my feelings, even if they didn't feel good to feel. I had to be honest with myself. To get back up, I had to be honest with others around me by explaining to them what it is that I was feeling and going through. To get back up, I had to understand me as a person and not compare myself nor my grieving journey or my grief recovery according to what people told me to do. I had to become sensitive to what was happening around me, even though I was still responsible for so much. I had to really embrace the floor. I had to embrace the bottom, because I knew that I knew if I recover from this, there's not much that would be able to knock me down at this point. So I just had to really learn to measure everything according to me and not anybody or anything else. Hence the "today will be the best day of my life" shirt. I had to measure my best according to me. And during those times of being knocked down, my best was some days just getting out of the bed. My best some days was just going to work. My best some days was doing absolutely nothing at all. But that was my best, and that's how I measured my best, strictly according to me. So that would be something in terms of how I got up, really taking every day, day by day, and not measuring it according to anybody else, but according to me and what I defined as the best.
I love that. That's so empowering, because I feel like I'm in this space where it's so easy for me to look at other people's lives, and just that whole comparison is a thief of joy, and we know what comparison can do. So how did you, I don't know how to word this, but basically, like, how did you not fall into that comparison trap? Because I know that's something that a lot of people deal with, and it's so easy to say, oh, well, this happened to them and they dealt with it this way, and look at where they're at now, and I'm not there, and look at all the stuff that so and so did today, and all I did was brush my teeth. Like, how did you not fall into that?
I got off the internet for a little bit because social media during that time was going to keep me in that place longer. Um, I stopped conversing with certain people. It was just like, people that are trying to force me, like, hey, you got to get back up. Hey, you got to get moving. Stop talking to me right now. So I had to really eliminate whatever it was that was pulling me in a space of rushing my process. I truly believe that we have to really go through our process. And if we avoid our process shows back up with something else. So I had to be real raw, like, look, social media is stressing me the hell out. People are constantly texting and doing all this stuff, and I can't do that right now. Right now I can't respond back, from the "how are you" text messages. What do you mean how am I? I get you care, but right now that was just too much for me. So I got off social media and I eliminated the interactions between people that were forcing me out of a place that I knew I needed to stay in at that moment. And not that I was like, wallowing in my grief, but it was like, no, you have to feel this, Rachel. This is something real that happened. This is a trauma that you're experiencing, and you need to be gentle with yourself and really go through what it is that you need to get through this.
I love that. So you're pretty much just intentional about boundaries and protecting your peace, which I believe is definitely so important. And I'm learning on newer and newer levels as the days go by.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Boundaries are big for me. And it was something that I read in the book by Henry Cloud, the book called Boundaries, where he goes through literally every stage of life, from your working relationships, your romantic relationships, your relationships with money. He literally talks about setting these boundaries, and reading that book has taught me my yeses and my nos, and I live by that. Like, no means no, and yes means yes. Even with myself, like, I have to tell myself yes, and I have to tell myself no, and I have to be real with myself. Like, no, Rachel, we're not doing this. Yes, Rachel, we can do this. And understanding when and not when. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So yes.
That is so important for sure.
So I recommend that book, Boundaries by Henry Cloud, by the way.
It's funny because I was actually going to ask you for a book recommendation at the end. So I guess we got that out the way.
Yes, absolutely. When it comes to getting back up, boundaries are so important. So that book would definitely help someone who's just having, some type of issues when it comes to creating and establishing boundaries. That book is so good. And he also references scriptures and things like that. So that was something that I was able to appreciate when reading it.
So it's Boundaries by
Henry Cloud.
Okay. I'll definitely look that up tonight. So moving on, another reason why I chose to name my podcast after Cardi B is because I literally saw her like go from her stripper phase before anybody really knew who she was. I think I was a freshman in college, and my roommate would like show me this girl on Instagram, and she was literally just that, like some stripper in New York City, like nothing special. Like, at least I mean, that sounds wrong. Nothing special. Everybody's special.
Mm-hmm.
But, like she wasn't the Cardi that we all know now. And we saw her come from that to where she is now and the woman that she has kind of become. And she really, I think, did that with no filter, just being her authentic self.
Absolutely.
And that is something I completely admire. So that being said, what does it look like to you to live with no filter and just authentically be yourself?
What does it look like to live with no filter? I would say if I had to live without a filter, it would be to live life outside of my comfort zone. I believe that living life inside my comfort zone is a filter. Whether it's the dog filter on Snapchat or whether it's a beautiful filter on Instagram, that's a comfort zone. And so living life outside of any filters is living life outside of my comfort zone, doing things when I'm scared, allowing myself to be uncomfortable while, achieving greatness, achieving success, living according to how God wants me to live. So allowing myself to be completely vulnerable in relationships and not wear the clothes of the past and things like that. So really living life outside of my comfort zone is for me to live a life unfiltered.
I was like, wow, this sounds so familiar. And then I realized it's because I was flipping through your journal today. There's your journal. 30 journal prompts for the confident woman. Congratulations
Yes,
on
thanks.
releasing
Available on
that.
Amazon.
Yes, and it's so like well done. And you literally have pages that write about what it looks like to live outside your comfort zone. And
Yep.
that is definitely thought provoking. So I love
That is
that.
one of the journal prompts.
Yes. Which I was gonna ask you a little bit about this journal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know this was your quarantine baby.
It is my quarantine baby.
And like, what were you thinking when you put it together? Like, what did you see for the woman who got this journal? What was your vision
For
for it?
well, you have it. So if you read the first page of the journal, when I envisioned this journal and who it would be for, I wrote this journal for all the women that felt alone when it comes to, being confused, unsure about their emotions, or, just ever experience being alone. I wrote that journal for that woman, for the woman that's up at night thinking, how am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to get a job? How am I going to do this? For that woman that struggles with confidence and is just trying and is searching the internet of, you know, how to be confident and what does this look like. I wrote that journal for her. So honestly, this journal that was created came from a journal that I had. Every journal prompt is from entries of my personal journals when I was writing to myself and, you know, getting my thoughts out. So those journal prompts that you see are all from journals that I've had, you know, throughout the years. So it's literally just, you know, thoughts and affirmations and things like that that I had myself. And during this quarantine, I've just been asking God to just show me what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And he showed me my journals. He showed me, he's like, hey, what you're asking me for is nothing new. I'm not sending you anything new because I've already sent you what I'm telling you to do. Go look in your journals. So I gathered all that stuff and literally came up with this journal in 2 weeks, and it was done. I stayed up late one night. I formatted it, created it, came up with the title, the cover page, the colors and everything, and got it done.
That's so awesome. And I just completely relate in so many ways because I don't know, I was thinking about the whole alone part, and I feel like this past season of my life, like even before we were on this whole stay-at-home quarantine business, like I have been home alone a lot, and it's definitely a struggle. And you have to be so intentional about where you let your mind go during that time.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I feel like when quarantine happened, a lot of people struggle with being alone. But I was like, okay, like I've been
doing this.
Yeah.
Like I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So,
But
you know, that's where this journal came from.
Yeah. And I feel like we definitely go through seasons where you do feel alone or lonely. But I don't think that those seasons are like the end all be all. Like I think there is tremendous growth to be found within those seasons. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. You learn so much about you. You learn your depth when alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned what I liked. I learned foods that I didn't eat. I learned what made me happy. And I actually learned who I was willing to deal with after being alone myself. It was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this with you. I don't deal with myself with this. So why would I deal with you with this?
That's so important, honestly.
So yeah, it's a lot. So yeah, so I wrote this journal for that woman.
And it's funny because I also feel the same exact way as far as I'm just like, okay, God, like I'm ready to do something. And he's like, I have already given you things. So that's definitely also the space that I'm in right now. Is just working with what he's already gave me.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Okay. I believe that it's important for us to spend that time with God so that we can hear him, so he can point us in the direction to see what it is that he's already given us. Because so many times we're busy occupying our minds with things that fill the space of us really needing to be quiet because he's already answered it. And so while we're busying our minds trying to search for the answers, we're unable to see what it is or hear what it is that he's telling us to do. So we end up not finding it at all and ending right back at square one.
Yeah, that's so true.
So yeah.
Okay, enough of the serious stuff. I have some questions just for fun. We already answered one about the book, so I'll definitely try to put that in the show notes so that people can look it up. But I have 2 other questions. So, do you have a song on repeat right now?
I've honestly daily been listening to Travis Green, actually, and he has a song called "Just Want You."
Okay.
So that's my song that's on repeat. Because I've just been in this space spiritually where I'm just like, Lord, me and you.
Yes.
So that's my song that's on repeat.
Okay, I'll have to listen to that.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I had another worship song stuck in my head today, and I can't remember at the moment because I'm like all over the place. But yes, I love
check out this song. I'm telling you, like, yes. You're like, oh. I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I just feel like when you have a worship song stuck in your head on repeat, like you're in a whole different space. Like,
Girl,
I love it.
completely different space.
That's awesome. Okay. And lastly, this is kind of a funny question because we're on lockdown, but if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
I would go to Thailand, and for a silly reason, I would go to Thailand because I like Thai food.
I was just thinking about that today. I
And
think I
I
saw
want
something
some
on Facebook.
authentic Thai food. So that's where I would go.
Yes, I definitely. My husband and I, we both got our passports last year, and
Hmm.
we never used them yet. Actually, I think he might have had his before, but I got mine last year, and then we didn't
Hmm.
go nowhere.
Well, look, that'll happen once, baby's able to get on the plane.
I told him, I was like, so should we be booking flights now while they're cheap?
You'll be able to change the dates from what I hear.
Exactly. So I'm like, this might be the time to book some flights.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So yes.
awesome. Okay. Do you have any other closing thoughts that you would like to leave us with?
If I had to leave with a closing thought is, like I said earlier in this podcast, if you're a person who is knocked down right now or a person that's trying to not be knocked down, I would encourage you to live your life to the fullest and make each day, live like you've never lived before, and to measure according to you and you only, and make sure every day is the best day of your life.
I love it. You have me about to like log out of all my social media right now.
Oh my God.
I'm like,
Why?
okay, so I have been off of Instagram for a while now, and I'm only really on Facebook, and I've just noticed like it's just I feel so much better without it.
Yeah, you have to
There's
you
so
have
many
to learn
reasons.
you. And it doesn't mean that you have to give it up forever, but sometimes you just don't need it. So understand you and then make the decision in terms of what needs to stay and what needs to come. But especially even now, you got to be real mindful of what you allow in.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for your time and for
Of
dropping some
course.
gems on us.
Of course. No thanks needed. I hope you have an amazing day. And again, thank you for having me on your podcast.
Anytime.
All right.